Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Rachel Foster DIY, where I try to talk about or document everything in the journey as is like a journal for my house renovation. My dad and I started this renovation project in September. It is now May, early May. I've lived in the house this is my 4th week. I mentioned in my last video that my dad has taken the summer off working on my house so that he can go and do stuff in his own house, which is completely reasonable, but it does mean that there's not so much I can vlog about in terms of my renovation journal. So I thought I might try doing something a little bit different and talk to you more this time about what it's like living in the house. This house is currently partially renovated. Sorry, I have to show you. Oh, okay. Not camera shy, but they've just been messing around on the floor. That's what the noise is. So I thought I'd talk to you a little bit more about what it's like living in this house whilst we're renovating it. The entire of the ground floor is still to really be in any semblance of finished. So let me just give you a quick tour. Okay, so this is the living room, or will be the living room eventually. At the moment it is just the shell of a room. This room needs to have all the last bits of wallpaper taken off. So this needs to go over with a steamer and a scraper. It needs to be plastered. The radiators need to go on the wall. The plugs need to be finished, screwed in, something. And then it will be decorated. So there's loads to do here. The downstairs hallway is in a similar state. The stairs is part of upstairs, so that's all in progress. This is the kitchen, or the room that will be the kitchen. Again, similar state, needs to have all the wallpaper stripped, needs to have all the old electrics points taken out, it needs to be replastered, the wiring needs to be finished for the lights. That's the back door. I do have my sink and my laundry facilities in this room, and other than that, it's a bit of a mess. And then this will be the dining room, but it is currently my temporary kitchen. This is really working really well. Actually, I'm really happy with the way this is working out. I know it seems probably horrific to those of you who are watching, unless you're in a pretty similar situation to myself, in which case, welcome. Yeah, so we just make do. Upstairs, if you've seen my renovation vlogs, you will have seen the bathroom is basically finished, although the bath is still leaking. My bedroom is basically finished, it just needs the skirting boards. My office is finished, it just needs to be decorated. And I have 2 spare bedrooms and the hall, stairs and landing to finish up there. So, and they just need decorating. There's nothing really major. Oh, that's a lie. One wall needs to be plastered. But yeah, so that's kind of all in hand. And this is going to take months. It might take years. I don't know anymore. The time frames went completely awry when we realised we needed to rewire, and that took 4 months because with my dad doing it himself a little bit at a time. So I am stuck like this for the foreseeable. But yeah, so I thought I'd share just a little bit about what that's like on a daily basis. If that's not what you're here for, I guess I'll see you maybe when I do some more renovation things, I hope. But otherwise, do stick around. So in this new world where I talk to you about day-to-day life a little bit more, I thought I might start with cooking and eating and shopping, because I've just come back from the supermarket for no other reason than that. But also possibly because it might be useful to share like how I'm coping without a kitchen, and also how I do things like cook as a single person living on my own. How do I manage meals? How do I plan and make sure that I'm making the best use of everything that I've got and not wasting things? That is my hope. So this is an experiment. We're going to see how it goes, and I hope you enjoy following me along for the ride. So as a starting point, when I shop for myself, I try to keep it to 2 bags because I only have 2 shopping bags and I don't want to buy any more. Plus, why would I need more? I'm only one person, 2 dogs and 2 cats. So I try to keep it to 2 bags. This week I went to Morrison's and I've spent, I think my shop was £112 and a bit. And that will be my food for the next 10 to 14 days, I think. I last went to the supermarket 14 days ago. So and now I really need some other stuff. But I do also tend to meal plan for the week. So I've got a rough idea of what I'm going to eat in the week. That helps me think about what I really need to buy and what I can live without. And it also gives me the opportunity to flex a little bit if the week doesn't go the way that I think it does. Or like this week when I actually meal planned with the expectation that I was going to shop on Sunday. It's now Thursday and I've only just gone to the supermarket. So my meal plan has flexed a little bit to work with what I already had. But yeah, I thought I'd show you a little bit of my shopping. Say this week I did get 2 bags of shopping. I also got a large box of cat food, and just because it was the first thing I saw when I walked into Morrison's, I also bought this tray of bakery items, which did not feature anywhere in my meal plan, and will probably go in the freezer for future consumption. Wow, it absolutely does not look like a lot when I lay it out like this. I didn't want to put the drinks out, so I've also got some soft drinks, some tonic, some non-alcoholic lager, and a bottle of alcoholic wine. So this is everything I've got to eat for the next couple of days, a couple of weeks. I have a load of things. I have a lot of cake. I am a person who does eat a lot of cake. I've got some pork tenderloin and some steak with some mushrooms and some veggies that I will be making some stir fries out of. I've got some noodles back there, tortilla chips because I eat them all the time, and salsa, both of which are really nice in salads. The peppers and the veggies will all go in salads as well. I haven't really organised it in order of what I'm going to eat. I did find this shop at Morrison's to be much more expensive than I would have paid elsewhere, so I'm probably not going to Morrison's again. I'm currently trying to cook faggots in the air fryer with instant chicken gravy because it's all I've got. I'm trying to work out how I can measure out the correct amount of water for the preparation guidelines. That's not even gravy, it's breadcrumbs. Oh my god, the entire meal plan has just fallen apart. I'm sure I've got some gravy somewhere, hang on. Alexa, put gravy granules on the shopping list. I think I'm going to be having it with beans. Yesterday in the pressure cooker, or the Instapot, I made this cabbage, potato and onion medley, ready for tonight's dinner and any subsequent dinners. So this is going to be my vegetable portion of my dinner tonight. hello on Friday at lunchtime. I have actually taken a lunch break from work today, so I'm going to cook something, and because it's Friday and I went to grocery shopping yesterday, Friday is all about using up all the leftovers, so I'm just going to have an explore what's in the fridge and think about what I can do with it. I do have a pretty good idea already. Okay, here is the fridge. I have a lot of fermented vegetables in here, vinegars and stuff. But what are we going in for? I've got rice. I can't do this one-handed. I'm not that kind of YouTuber. Olives. Could do something with that. I really need to finish off these black beans, I swear. They're going off. What we got in here? Oh, some halloumi. And then I've got some salady bits, sweet potatoes. If you haven't figured it out already, or it's certainly going to become apparent that like a Buddha bowl is my go-to style of eating for every meal of every day, pretty much. Okay, so what have I got? Pepper, cucumber, tomato, radish, sweet potato, olives, black beans, rice, a little bit of rice, and halloumi. Back in a bit. Something that's very exciting, I'm about to harvest the first lettuces of this season. So this constitutes the sum total of my allotment garden right now. Got some mixed herbs, some mixed lettuces, some rocket. The rocket's only just gone in, so I'm not going to harvest that, but it's definitely worth a munch. This one's parsley and a little bit of dill, just a little bit because it can be quite strong, and then a few over here too. I'm just picking the outer leaves, and then they will grow more and I will be able to pick off these few lettuces for ages. There we go, a beautiful addition. No, I absolutely cannot. Okay, so here is the finished bowl. Got my sweet potato, roasted red pepper, grilled halloumi. That is some homemade green tomato salsa, rice and beans, and like a deconstructed Greek salad thing. So I've also sprinkled on top just the last bits of these crispy onions so that I could get rid of the pot. I might just add, got some walnut oil here, just to drizzle over. There we go. The top, and a little bit of salt. And that's going to be perfect. This is going to be my main meal of today, so I won't have dinner tonight. I'll probably just have some chips and dips or something of that nature. And this will keep me full for the rest of the day. Good morning on Saturday. I'm in the middle of cleaning my room and it occurred to me that might be interesting. I don't know, loads of people do cleaning stuff on YouTube, so this is just part of daily life. Because the house is so dusty, because they don't have floors and not everything's plastered and downstairs is a building site, I have to clean the upstairs spaces all the time. I am halfway through this already. I'm just vacuuming, so yeah, I have already the woodwork and cleaned the mirror, and then I've shaken off all the blankets off the bed to get all the dog hairs off and sprayed it down with this. This is great for keeping like the animal smells at bay and stopping the whole house just turning into a big cat and dog smell fest. I've tried various ways of doing this floor. Bear with. Sorry, just realised that I had the radio playing. That was probably distracting. Also, probably music that I can't get rights for, and YouTube will block this video. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I've tried various methods of keeping this floor clean. But just look, I mean, with 4 animals and me shedding hair all the time, this floor really needs doing every day. But I can't be bothered. I have better things, frankly. So a couple of times a week, maybe. I was trying to just sort of sweep it up with one of those fluffy microfiber floor brushes. Does not cut it with this much hair and dust. The only solution is just to vacuum. Henry is big and heavy, so yeah, I don't like getting it out all the time, but we persevere. I would normally also run over the floors with like a spray mop thing, but I washed it after the last time I did it, which I think was Tuesday, and I can't find the mop head anymore, so I'm waiting for a new one to be delivered from Amazon. Mop's heads have just arrived, which means I can, I hope I've got the right ones, mop the floor. I should be walking the dogs, because I haven't done that yet today, but it is pouring with rain. Straight down. I don't want to go. I think they want me to go, but it's not happening. So I'm going to mop. I'm in an in-between phase of hungriness. It's 4 o'clock. I'm not quite ready to have like my full dinner, but I really do need to eat something before I attempt to take the dogs for a walk. So I am going for the tried and tested option: peanut butter and jam on toast. Good morning on Sunday. It's about 10 to 9. I have been awake since about 5:30. It's been a busy morning, just sort of doing chores and odds and ends. So, yeah, I've already got laundry going. I have emptied the bins and the recycling. I have organised the cupboard under the sink. Look, let me show you. It looks so... It is never going to look this tidy ever again. Ooh. I shall move away from the washing machine because it is quite loud. And I am now about to unpack a box out of the garage. Here is the box, marked books. It is destined for upstairs in the office. I'm wearing my dressing gown for this bit of the video because it's absolutely freezing today and I don't have any central heating in this house. It's the only thing I had to put on to keep warm. From that I've had with me a long time. I don't keep a lot of books. Sorry, the dog's moving around. So these books are very treasured. So they're things like where is it? My copy of Lord of the Flies with all of my annotations in there from school and stuff like that. A lot of plays that I've studied and a few books that I haven't read, but I wanted to share this one with you because this one is a book of poetry, and I had a poem published in it when I was 11. It's probably the best thing I ever wrote my whole life, so I thought I'd read you the poem that I wrote when I was 11. It's called Things That Go Bump in the Night. Waking up in the night, I had such a fright. In my dreams were ghosts and things that go bump in the night. Climbing into mum's bed, knowing she's asleep, but you're still afraid. You're still afraid of things that go bump in the night. By Rachel Foster, age 11. I just think it's so cute. I love getting this out every now and again and reading it. I think when I wrote it, it was just in English class at school. I think it had like 9 verses or something. I don't have the original, but they only published the first one. I've also got a very strict rule that I'm only unpacking things in the house that I really want to keep. So I'm not sort of just moving things and unpacking them because they came out of a box and I had them in my old house. I'm looking at every individual thing and deciding whether or not I'm keeping it, donating it. Some things I've set aside for gifts for friends and children of friends.